Hi everybody, welcome to Top of the Morning. I'm Steve Collins, but don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Uss Constellation, moored here in Baltimore's Inner Harbor, is the last all-sail vessel designed and built by the United States Navy. It was launched in 1854 and commissioned in 1855 and saw a century of service.
Welcome back. We're here with Mel McKee, who recently participated in the Barbizon competition here in Baltimore, just this past June. And we are on the USS Constellation. The noises you hear in the background, this is an active museum, folks. There are folks touring behind me. You'll hear bells. You might hear a few knocks on a wall. I believe there might be a ghost walking above deck here. Oh, he could be over there, I don't know. But we're happy to be here. Come see us in Baltimore. Come to the Constellation. It is a National Historic Monument. You can read all about it. But come down and see us in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Oh yeah, so I am from Maryland here. I was born here, and I am trying to be an aspiring model and actor.
Okay. Now, were you born in the city, suburbs? What part of Maryland?
I was born near Baltimore City, but not in the city, so more in the suburbs.
Okay. Well, that's great. You know, I've been a resident of the city more than 25 years, so great to have you here. And we're out here on the Constellation, historic national monument. Tell us about your inspiration. What was the catalyst, and how old were you, if you remember, that got you involved, or at least interested in modeling, acting?
Man, wow, that's interesting. I've always done modeling, well, more acting when I was younger. Like when I was in summer camp, and I would do like little plays and videos and stuff like that. And I'd done some when I was in church. I'd done some plays and everything like that. And so it's always kind of been there. And what really kicked it off was when I was in community college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do there, but I took an acting course there. And when I took that acting course, I really got excited about it, and it really just really drove me to really move forward and really go after it. So that's kind of been the driving force, since then.
Now let me ask you, I've been asked this question, having done a little bit of acting myself.
Yeah.
What drives you? Is there something just you don't know, you just want to perform? Is it the recognition at the end? Is it the... I like to think, one, there's something inside me that just pushes me, but when you're on stage or if you're doing a production, you're controlling people's emotions, ability to make people laugh or cry. So with that said, comedy, drama, what do you like? You like to get serious, or you like to make people laugh?
Honestly, I like all of it, honestly. I mean, I really couldn't choose one, I mean, I just like the creativity and just expressing the creativity and showing that there's a lot to acting, and I just think it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's, I'm a big fan of organized sports, and sometimes you can look at acting when you're on stage or whatever you're doing, whether it's a production like this or a film or a commercial. You're part of a team. There has to be some camaraderie. What's your favorite moment, if you could pinpoint, or a couple of your experiences coming up that just, wow, I really like this. This is why I'm here.
Wow, man, my favorite moment, man, I have to search back. There's been a lot, honestly. I mean, well, there's one that sticks out to me when I was at Barbizon competition, and I was modeling, and I was on the runway walking back, and when I stepped on that stage, that's when it was just a wow factor for me, because it felt natural to me, and that was like, I didn't feel really nervous. I was just like, this is something that I might want to do, and ever since then, that's kind of been the thing that I've been going towards.
There's some sort of energy.
Yeah.
Like right before you go on stage, whether it's the runway, it's that moment before you get your cue, and then you're just right before you go. And there's a little bit of nervousness because there's folks out there. That way I know you're human, right? Because trust me, having done a lot, not exorbitant amount, but every time, right, that moment, right before you start, it's that energy. Any favorite actors or actresses, anybody that you just look at and say, man, that person, because there are folks out there that have done modeling. They do both. You think of that show, The Walking Dead, and Norman Reedus, for example, started as a model. Now he's that character. But anyone in particular, or a few that you're just like, wow, I wish I could have that career?
Yeah, there's a couple out there right now. I like this guy, Lakeith Stanfield. He was in Get Out movie. He was been in that one. He's been in a couple movies. Also like Will Smith, of course. Denzel, another big one. Don Cheadle, he's pretty good.
I mean, you look at Will Smith, who has a Baltimore connection, folks. His wife went to Maryland School for the Arts, I'm pretty sure. Jada Pinkett Smith. Here's to you, Will. Future star. Look from Mel McKee. Denzel, I got to tell you, there's so many performances I've admired of his. One that I know he was nominated for was a movie called Flight. I don't know if you ever saw that, where he played a pilot. And God, if you're afraid of flying, don't watch it. But if you are, you want Denzel as a pilot. But I thought that's one of my favorite performances from him. I mean, you could go down a long list. Now, modeling, one thing, you've got to have looks, you got to have height, you got to wear the clothes, you got to walk the walk. But when you're acting, you've got to not only walk the walk, but talk the talk. So any special skills, anything you're working on, any dialects, or, for example, I had to learn to fence, but can you dance?
Man, I got a little bit of skills. I can dance a little bit, I can dance. I'm still learning how to memorize, lines and everything. So that's something that I'm trying to do. But
it's all about repetition. Like if you know the Pledge of Allegiance, I mean, it gets ingrained in our heads when we're little in school. You can just say it automatically. And, the whole key with acting is the sense memory, right? Once you get it down, then you can take your direction from your director and just sort of mold the character. But I know a little secret about you. Maybe you're not tooting your horn on this, but the New York Conservatory of Dramatic Arts, I hear, scholarship winner? All right, what's the dirt? Talk to us.
Man, it's really interesting how that happened. When I was at Barbizon and when I was there to compete, they were giving out scholarships for school in New York Conservatory, and I was just like, wow, that'd be really cool. If I could win one of those, that'd be really cool. But that wasn't my main focus. My main focus was the model. So when I did the runway up there and everybody did their thing, they asked us to sit back down, and then they started to. A lady came up, and then she was handing out the names of the people that got the scholarship. So when they started calling the names, and then they said Melvin McKee. I'm just like, me?
I do something wrong, but
I'm just like, I'm only Melvin, so I guess they're talking about me. So I'm like, okay. So I walked up there and I got the scholarship for the school, and it was really just a shock moment because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to get a scholarship.
Congratulations. I mean, so tell us what happened. When do you head off to New York? I mean, are you there? Are you on hiatus right now?
Well, actually, I just finished the school, so I was up there for about 2 years, and it was during the pandemic and stuff, unfortunately. So that was a hindrance, but it was a great experience up there. I met a lot of people, a lot of techniques, and it's just been a life-changing experience.
Oh, that's great. I heard another story that, and this is common with actors that have been successful, they get behind the camera. So I heard that you've sort of crossed over and now you're working behind the camera and taking the role of director, casting, age, etc. But tell us about that.
Yeah,
Sir.
yeah, I am doing a little bit of that. I've been working with a very great lady, Donna Davis, and she's been teaching me the tricks of the trade, and it's so much to it that you wouldn't know unless you do it. So
Right.
it's just been great.
I think I know that particular lady, but she makes it look very easy, but
Oh,
it's
I know.
very, very hard. There's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
work and preparation that goes in, and one thing that you got to make sure, when you're casting talent, that they're there on time and they're ready. But
Yeah.
so many pieces, I think you're in good hands from a mentorship to be a mentee to Loretta. And that's exciting. Now, do you have any projects lined up, or are you just working the camera as part of the production crew for McDonough Davis?
Well, we are. There are some projects lined up that are in the works right now. So, but right now I am working, trying to learn the camera stuff and everything, and trying to and learn more about like editing and other stuff that she's taught me. So it's been a lot of great stuff. And so I'm learning a lot about production and co-producing teen scene and stuff like that. And that's something that. And I'm also playing Captain Baltimore. So
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
here's one bit of advice, if I can give you anything.
Yeah.
'Cause I know we just met, but having the fact, you've acted, you've walked the runway as a model, just remember those roots, because when you're working with that actor or that model, they might be a little nervous, and always try to treat people with respect, just like you would expect it, because it's a very interesting industry, and there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of people that can be pretty difficult, but just,
Yeah.
if I was to give you any advice, I've had good experiences and bad, mostly good, but just be sensitive to that when you're working with, especially in the teen scene, young aspiring kids, that you treat them with respect, and they've got a voice. That's the most important thing I can pass on, if there's anything to get out of today.
yeah, right.
Okay, well, we're going to say goodbye to Mel McKee. Remember that name, Mr. Mel McKee, model, actor, producer. What's next? Who knows? But keep your eyes and ears peeled for him. Mel, great to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Exploring 55 side. Many major players have come to bat in this more than $1 billion revitalization of downtown's West Side, like Bank of America, who believes so much in this endeavor that it bought an entire city block to renovate and erect a mixed-use development called Centerpoint, offering nearly 400 residential units and 35,000 square feet of retail space. It's the total commitment of Governor Robert Ehrlich, Mayor Martin O'Malley, and all the legislators, along with the Baltimore Development Corporation and the 40-plus members of West Side Renaissance, led by Peter Angelos, that are ensuring the success of what the New York Times calls the largest revitalization plan of its kind in the country. And it's all happening in this one neighborhood called downtown Baltimore's West Side. Infectious, fashionable, full of vim and Baltimore vigor, I walk the West Side streets these days in amazement at what it's become. I'm nuts about downtown Baltimore's West Side. You will be, too.
Welcome back. We're here with another Barbizon alum, Mr. Aaron Cox. Aaron, welcome.
Hi.
Tell us, Baltimore native, Maryland native, where are you from?
I moved here about 3 years ago from New Mexico,
Okay.
but I have lived here, for the past 3 years, and I did live here before. But we're here to stay now, and we live pretty close to Baltimore, over by Prince Frederick.
Okay, great. So New Mexico, as they say, dry heat. I've got to make a reference, folks, because we are on the USS Constellation, and there is no air conditioning, so we're kind of channeling, 1700s here, and the Baltimore sweltering August heat. So, Aaron, thanks for putting up for the heat, and All right, so we're going to pick it up. So from New Mexico, tell us, how did you get involved in Barbizon? And was it just strictly to get into modeling or now acting? What's on the horizon?
I do like acting. I mean, I can't really explain. It's just something that I like to do. And Barbizon seemed like a good way to actually get into real acting.
Okay. Now, have you done anything in school or in the community? Any stage productions?
Back in New Mexico, I did do a stage production. Not a lot. I didn't do a lot in it, but I was there and I really enjoyed it. And I was going to do an after-school theater program, but they had to shut it down due to COVID.
Okay. Yeah, that COVID just seems to impacting the industry as a whole, both in the community and professionally. So the acting part, the stage, the production, dramatic arts, comedy, or what is it about acting? Is there someone in your family that maybe parents, aunt, uncle, relative that, or what was the catalyst? Was there any particular moment that said, I got to do this?
Back in New Mexico that first time, I kind of got up there and I did have stage fright, but it felt good to get through it, and that really pushed me towards it.
Well, we all do. I mean, if you don't have a little nervousness, then, make sure you still have a pulse, because that's energy. And one thing you'll hear as you progress and work with directors, you may hear one or more talk about energy, 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 energy. That's what it's all about. And when you're in a production, there's a lot of camaraderie, and you have to feed off one another. The good thing is, I remember when I was coming up, when I was younger and learning to act, and you're working with more experienced actors, is just hold on. Like, watch and do that exchange, and they might be more experienced in a different level than you, but that's how you learn and that's how you get better. It's like playing sports. Is there anyone that you've identified yet, or a director, now that you're here in Maryland, or someone or something you've seen where, I need to be part of that?
Not yet, but I'm really working on trying to get out there more so I can do that.
Okay, well, there is a hotbed of community theater, if you want to start there, and there are a number of productions going on in Maryland right now, not only through McDonough Davis, but the big cable companies. I can tell you the way, my advice is, when you have to look at acting as a pond. When you're in school, say high school, the pond is this big, and then you go into the community, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. If you look out at the harbor here, so you constantly need to be out there working, and fortunately, there's a lot of history, community theater here in Baltimore that you can tap into, wide range of roles. What are you doing to try and research or identify where those opportunities are? Strictly focusing in school, contacts through Barbizon?
Mostly contacts through Barbizon. That has really helped. It got me here, so that's good.
Excellent. Now, are you working on any special skills? Do you dance? Any sports you play? Do you sing? Any instruments you play?
I do not play any instruments anymore. I used to play piano, but I didn't really stick with it. So I do not dance, but I am working on behind the camera stuff, camera work, and just learning how to actually shoot something well.
Good. Well, that's good, because you can cross over. So getting some experience as an actor is helpful as a director. But I'll tell you, learning special skills, dancing, here's my advice: learn a box step. I was up for a leading role in production, did not know how to dance. Director wanted me. I could do the Irish accent. They didn't know if I could dance, and it was just the choreographer pulled me aside and just do a quick box step. That's all you need to know. You know how to play the piano? A few keys. You never know. There could be an opportunity for a role for a piano player. You'll see one for horseback riding. I've ridden a horse, but that's good enough to say that you have that experience. So when given an opportunity, fencing, for example, I had to learn how to fence, both left-handed and right-handed. Did not know how to do it, but you learn. But don't be afraid. Aaron Cox, any last thoughts about your pursuits in the Baltimore area? Acting, directing, producing?
I think Barbizon has been the biggest help for all that, because I would not have found a lot of these different opportunities had I not followed through with Barbizon.
Well, good. As a surfer would say, just keep charging. You got to catch that wave and just keep charging. So great to meet you and good luck to you. And we hope to see you on stage or behind the camera somewhere.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We are still on the Uss Constellation and still enjoying this Baltimore humidity and heat in the captain's quarters. Now I'm here with Quincy Johnson. He participated in the Barbizon convention that was here in June, this past June 2021. Quincy, welcome. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
I am from here, actually Baltimore. I was born here, but I moved to out near Temple Hills later on. I've been here for my whole life.
Okay. Now, you moved to where?
Temple Hills.
Temple Hills. Okay. I'll tell you one thing I noticed right now, your voice. That I could listen to your voice. Anybody ever tell you that?
Nope.
No, you've got a cadence in your voice right now. Just you might speak up a little bit because I'm telling you, I can hear it, folks. I don't know if you can pick it up. So modeling started there. Now acting,
Yeah.
producing, or camera production, or just modeling, acting.
I did modeling, acting, and I did a little bit of director.
Perfect. Now, what's the hot button? Is it acting? You want to be an actor?
Yeah.
Who was the cap? Was there somebody that in your family? What is it about acting that's driving you? Why do you like that over the other
Well, it's not family. It's just I really like movies, so I've always wanted to be in them. And people like Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, they inspire me, so I'll do what they do.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. He is an incredible career in a very short span, at least from my perspective. What about radio? Because that voice, I'm hearing it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. That voice, there is a lot of voice work. If you look at all the productions, say Pixar, all these animation films, which can be pretty lucrative. You think of all the folks who do The Simpsons, just how many years it's been on the air. But have you thought about that, radio?
I've thought about it a little bit.
Okay, because even as a producer or director, very easily you could take a piece where you also serve as a narrator. So there's a little tip, because I'm telling you, that voice, you could, I see it in lights right now, Mr. Quincy, not Quincy Johnson, maybe Mr. Quincy, but fantastic voice. Now I heard you did a little bit of camera op work behind the camera. What were you doing? What was the scene that you were operating the camera for?
I was directing to do some improv and some songs. I did it for Team C, and I ran the camera and directed.
Okay, well, how was it? What was the experience like? Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was
Yeah?
good.
You were in charge.
Yeah,
Quincy was in charge. Don't you like having command?
yeah, directing. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about. I mean, there's a lot of famous A-listers that do both. All right, Quincy Johnson, any last thoughts after our little conversation?
I'm excited about my future, and I want to see where this all takes me.
Excellent. We'll keep charging. That's it. That's the end of the show, folks. We'll see you next time.